All right, all right. I believe we got sound now. My little meter is saying I've got sound. So I'd have to say that I got sound. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Live from American Times World Headquarters and the home of the Dixieline Connection here at the foot of Turkey Cock Mountain. It's 10:46 and it's freaking May 1st. How about that? May 1st. Makes the county in 1,000. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I think my connection wasn't fast enough. So I just everything and tried it again. And it worked, but I could have handled it with no sound. I got it. I got it. I can type. I know how to type. I can get down in there and type. So, I mean, I know y'all like just come in here and chat. We can just turn in. Like I said, I came in here tonight just to chat, man. You know, you guys, whatever y'all want to talk about. We ain't got to talk about nothing I want to talk about. I don't give a fuck. I got all my stuff done, and I'd just be on the couch watching TV right now. I said, oh, let me go in there and fucking hang out with the guys for a little while, see what's going on. I'll tell you, man, you know, I could shed light on all kinds of stuff. I was telling a friend of mine some stories the other day, and he was just like, his jaw was just dropping. And he said he just couldn't believe it. And I said, yeah, man, but you know, if you tell these stories, then of course the other side goes, those are complete and absolute lies. And so not only do you end up telling this fantastic, but then they call you a liar. And so it's like, why even tell the story? So, you know, I guess that's why a lot of these people wait till the other people are dead. I mean, because some of these stories, man, I mean, you know, there's some wild stuff. But anyhow, I know what you mean, uncircumcised. There's all kinds of what was that show that used to be on VH1? Behind the curtain, behind the stage, in the closet, whatever they called it. You know, and there's you know, there's 2-3 dozen guys just like you and me, sitting on all kinds of stuff that nobody knows about. I just got a text from one of them that's listening. Gary Coleman. I mean, the name rings a bell. Why does that name ring a bell? Well, you know, there was a few of those. The midget Gary Coleman. Oh, the TV star. Sure, man. Yeah. From What's Happening. Oh, from Different Strokes. Yeah, not What's Happening. That's a different show. Yeah, yeah. Isn't he dead? Ain't he dead? I think that dude dead, ain't he? Lights out. Well, I imagine if you only like 3 feet tall, you probably pissed off all the time. Wake up pissed off, trying to get out of bed. Fucking hit the floor, bam. Got to fall about 2 feet to hit the floor, bam. Mad as hell. Motherfucker. Leave something up on the bed, got to damn jump up there to get it. Madder than hell. By the time you get your coffee and your toast and your eggs, you hating on everybody. Think about that, man. 3 feet tall. You have to have still everything. You know? Like little kids, you couldn't reach across the counter. Couldn't, nothing. He couldn't get nothing out of the cabinet. Be mad as hell. Called him Webster. Fucking Webster. Jesus, man. That's a hot potato right there. I'm going to leave that alone. You know, let me ask you a question about all this. Why are we talking about this guy? Did y'all know him? Somebody know Gary Coleman? Did Gary Coleman have bulldogs? Did he die? Did somebody know him? Is there a reason that we talking about this violent midget? Yeah. The other little fellow? Yeah. The other small man? I think he still alive? I think that guy's still alive. I think Webster's still kicking. Webster's still out there, man. Emmanuel Lewis. Yeah, he's still alive, isn't he? Oh, man. I want to hear about the midgets. Man, when we have the 1,000 subscriber party, I'm hiring a midget. I'm getting a porno midget over here, and I'm going to have her dance on the desk. I'm going to have her strip right here on the desk. And I have my new special camera, and we'll just direct it right in on her. Imagine that little midget dancing on my desk. And if I can't get a midget, I'll just get a really good looking stripper, you know. So I'll try to get a midget the best I can. I really will, you know. But if I can't get one, you know, I promise I'll have a stripper of some sort. Oh yeah. That 1,000 subscriber party, man. That shit's gonna be sweet. Sweet, sweet party. Oh, man. Might have to get Snoop Dogg here. Get the Snoop out. See if we can get him to snoop around. Sing a couple songs. I tell you, man, 3 creepy things is midgets, mushrooms, mustard. Creepy. There's all different kinds of the 3 of them. You seen all the different kinds of mustard they got at the store? You ever stopped and looked? I mean, you go to pick out a mustard now, man. They got like about 60 different kinds of mustard. You know? And mushrooms. People like, oh, go out in the woods and pick mushrooms. They got these pretty morels and this and that. Man, I go out in the woods. All I find is shit growing from trees that look like something out of a fucking horror movie. They're like, oh, get your book out. You can eat most of that stuff. Man, I get some good walks in, but I've yet to find like any big stashes of stuff I can eat. Any of y'all do any mushroom hunting? It comes down to midgets. I don't know any midgets. So I got that one. I got that solved right away. I don't know none. Now I got a buddy of mine. Man, he likes going out with them girls that got them kind of. You know how some of them women, they almost got that midget look. They're not really midgets, but they're short enough to where they got that kind of like their leg kind of got that almost peg kind of midget kind of leg where it hooks to their ass, and when they kind of walk that hop, that kind of waddle like a midget. Them little short chicks where they almost look like a damn midget. When they got that big fat ass on them. Now I got a buddy of mine. He loves them girls like that. He's like, oh damn. I'm like, dude, she's like almost a fucking midget. I mean, these chicks are like 4'9", 4'8". They got like a 20-inch inseam and 18-inch inseams and shit. Got these weird little peg legs and shit. I am talking about dogs, man. We talking about dog women. Yeah, they got these weird little peg legs, these girls. Shorty Cowboy. You talking about Tookie Cochran's dog? Yeah, man. You know what I'm talking about? They got little twist on arms and shit. They got them little arms look like they've been twisted on and shit. Wee, wee, wee. Little midgets. Not quite a midget, but got the midget features. Yeah, yeah, and their leg and the arms got the, and the real short chick got the bubble fat asses on them. You know, man, he loves them. I mean, man, when we find a girl like that, he's too shy to talk to any women at all. You show him a girl like that, he'll walk right up to her and start talking to her. You know, I've never seen anything like it. If a sucker get well, I'd give him a dog. Good guy. I've known him about 4 or 5 years now, and met him at an auction house, and he's just a real solid person. Make a great dog, man. He just retired from a manufacturing job for 35 years, and he's now retired and got a home, but he's sick. That gummit can't get well. So pray for my friend Tommy gets well. He's got to have some surgery next week. Hope he gets safe and gets better soon. Give him a damn dog, he gets right. So anyhow, there's your dog talk. So always trying to place a dog out into a good home, I'm always looking. I was talking to somebody today about putting one of my dogs with them. Somebody local that they don't have a dog, and letting them have one of them as a pet. So, shoot, man, anytime I can put one of my dogs in a home better than mine, it's right down the street, or you know what I mean? You can't beat that. So, that's better than I can do. Put them in the house. I can only put one in the house, and we all know who that is. That's the old Pucky. So, no, I don't have anybody to make them for me. I don't have a manufacturer anymore, so I don't use them. What I've been using is I just use a good vitamin, a good human multivitamin, 500 milligrams of iron, 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. And man, that's my vitamin boost that I give. And I'm using a high end dog food, and if I've got one that's going to be under stress, I do add oil to their diet. I will add some coconut oil. I will add some algae oil. Um, you know, if it's way out or something, like if I got some time, I might even add some beef tallow into their diet for maybe like 3 or 4 weeks. If I've got several weeks to, mess with the dog, I might even introduce a little, like what they, like a real long chain triglyceride, something real heavy like beef tallow, like they make it like in fat form. I know somewhere I can get it. You know, but yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But anyhow, but no, my dogs on a daily basis get their little iron and vitamin C supplement, and But see, I'm only feeding 7 dogs, man. It's easy to feed them up and do special stuff for them. So, when you start feeding 20, 30 dogs a day, I guess probably the best thing to do is to pick out, at least the ones that you deem that need it the most, um, and make sure that they're getting the boost in their diets. Um, but of course, if you can give it to the whole yard every day, that's fantastic. Um, but yeah, I don't have a vendor anymore to make those. It's been shit, man. It's been 20 years since we made those pills. Um, we were playing around with an oil, an vitamin-based oil, and keep having trouble with getting the vitamins to emulsify properly. And I fucked around with heat, and we just messed around with different types of oils and different types of vitamins, and I can't get the right type of vitamins that I want and the right type of minerals that I need. Like my formula to emulsify properly with an oil, it just wants to sit in the bottom. And I can't even get it where it'll, anyhow, it won't even like shake properly. And so we've been fucking with it. Probably not enough. And I appreciate the boost, you know. I got so much stuff going on, you guys wouldn't believe it. I could have kept working tonight and not got online. And I'll catch myself after I get on here for 3 or 4 hours. That's it. Yay. Do it now. Support the band. I mean, don't support the band. Abolish the band. Abolish the band. Support abolishing the band. That's what I meant. How do people support you? Can they send money to you? You got a cash app, Stacy, where people can send money to you guys? Well, what kind of breed band are they putting on you guys? Like a total breed band, like they did in England? Hey, Paul, what are they trying to do to them in New Zealand? Is it a total ban in the country, like they did in England? How you doing, buddy? Oh, I, I don't really have any dogs anymore. I just got some old crap. What's up, Brad? Here, I'll show you a pedigree. Give you a pedigree to look at. Take a look at this pedigree, Stacy. This is my buddy right here. That's my buddy. Total fucking band. Jesus. Well, you just gonna have to get all the owners together to unite and fight that. You get all the owners together, you'll beat it. Oh yeah, man, I got all that stuff, man. Shoot, yeah. Let's see here. I got some stuff. Get my hands on. No, I can't get my hands on any of it right here. I got them though. Yeah, man, I got them. I need to put them on CD. Another thing I need to do, man. But now, you know, I just, man, I got a lot going on in my life. You know, not bragging or nothing, but I just finished like a whole week of full time volunteer work, man. And I'm fucking beat. It was all working on my feet, man. And I am fucking exhausted. I've been having to do that plus take care of all my shit. I'm fucking wore out. Them people busted my ass, man, for 5 days straight. I'm like, man, who the hell works 5 days straight anymore? Any of y'all work 5 days straight? That damn 5 days straight shit. I killed my ass, man. Ain't done that shit in 15 years. You're welcome, Stacy. Oh, I'm gonna get me some rest tomorrow. Man, when I got home tonight, I took care of everything tip top. And tomorrow, I'm gonna take my lounge chair and I'm gonna lay out there in the middle of my yard. And I'm gonna put my headphones on, put my blanket out there on my lounge chair, and I'm gonna cut me one loose at a time. And I'm gonna lay out there in the yard while my dog runs around, and I'm gonna have me a good old time, man. I ain't doing shit tomorrow. I ain't doing shit. I'm gonna watch my dogs play, lay out there in the yard like a dog. I guarantee it. I ain't doing nothing tomorrow. My fat ass is gonna be laid out like a bear that just come out of hibernation. Yep. Probably by 2 o'clock, I'll be all the way down to just my shorts. Be laying there all fat. Oh, I know lots of people work 5 days straight, man. I'm being cynical. I'm being cynical about it. I just I, it kicked my ass. I need to be working way harder than I've been working physically. But now I really busted ass. I mean, I did a lot of damn hard shit. Oh, I did way more than I would have done around here. That's for sure. I was like, man, I need to be doing this kind of hard work for myself. That was a bad thing. That's what I figured out at the end of the week. I was like, I need to be hustling like this for me. Oh, uh, anyhow. Well, what else been going on? What you guys want to talk about? So you got some alligator, red boy, Jocko, Jeep, and some heavy buck. Well, I like them buck dogs, them old tight buck dogs. I mean, I like all bulldogs. I love any kind of bulldog. Well, it sounds like you got, a good little mix of stuff there. But I definitely like them buck dogs. You ain't got one you want to show off, do you? Oh man, well he's the bottom side of him is Boomerang and Zebo. Patrick told me himself. I mean, I got it from the horse's mouth. See, Patrick told me all kinds of shit back when he was writing for me. That's why he told all that stuff like he's a liar, he's this, he's that, because he knows I know the truth about all kinds of stuff. And I ain't said nothing. I ain't said a word. I know a bunch of other shit. Oh man, I know all kinds of shit about Pat Patrick. You're gonna have to wait till my next book. I got a nice whole section about Pat Patrick. It's my turn. You get to read it in there. You know, but one thing is for sure is that Buck's bottom side they bred. Um, I have to get the paper out to look at it. But what was it? Was it Fritz Blitz that was out of Boomerang to Zebo? Is that right? Was that out of Zebo to Boomerang? Daughter Zebo to Boomerang? Is that right? Something like that. And then that was bred to Bolio or Tombstone or something like that. But oh, Pat Patrick, man, see, Pat Patrick used to write for me. I mean, he used to work for me. And no, he's out of Golden. Well, all I know is on the bottom side is Boomerang and Zebo. And I can show it to you on paper. Oh yeah, I put a book out back in January. You can order it on the splash page of my YouTube account. You can go to the front page, and all the ordering information is right there. And you get a bunch of extra stuff with it too. We've been adding a bunch of stuff to it. You'll like it. all I know is that Buck was a great dog. I mean, well, I was there when Buck and uh, uh, um, Samson and um, and Buck was a great dog. Just don't forget, with the grandson of Bolio, the 3 weeks before Buck matched, with the grandson of Bolio and Zebo. Now I used a dog that his grandfathers were Bolio and Zebo. I matched that dog, and I won best in gamest in show in 19 matches with that Lanier and Fergie's grand champion Bronson. That was 3 weeks before the Buck match. Went 3 hours, 9 minutes, no turns, no out of holds. I scratched to win. 309. No turns, no out of holds, scratch to win. How about that? How about that? Well, again, talking about Patrick, he's just going to say you're lying. I mean, it's like beating a dead horse, man. So, and I choose not to be called a liar. So, you know, that's why I've never, you get down there and fight with scumbags, you get that shit all over you. And I don't want to get that shit all over me. I mean, he could just stay down there and just roll in whatever he's in. I just, I mean, just think about that, man. Think about that. Just to say that about somebody, man. Just an old piece of shit. What up, Renegade? Well, I mean, I give the guy his due. He produced a fair share of good dogs, but just for God's sakes, man, you don't have to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. I mean, it is what it is. You don't. It's like Rick Rude. I wrote about Rick Rude in my book. Rick Rude was just a regular fucking dog. He was just a regular dog, man. He was just. They beat this guy Kiefer with him. Kiefer was just like, like this B grade dog guy, just really almost didn't know what he was doing. And they tried to hype that shit up like it was this and it was that. And I just hate it when people do that shit. Just stick to the truth, man. Just stick to the truth. The truth is okay. You know, you don't have to try to turn some little old mutt into a tornado because then you look stupid. And then, then who's full of shit? And everybody knows it. I mean, everybody that knows anything knows it. They see that and they're like, and then that casts doubt on everything that you've ever said. Kind of like that cop, the one that they just found guilty of murder. You got to go back to everybody he ever busted and find them people, unless it's like a clear cut case. If it was ever a case of his judgment, you got to let them people go. You got to go back and find them innocent. How can you find anybody guilty where it was that dude's judgment, whether they were innocent or guilty, as far as them getting the charge put on them? I mean, fuck that guy. He was operating with malice. You should have seen all the other shit he did. Dude was fucking psycho. He was fucking nuts. Man, give me a break. Give me a break. That's what I'm talking about. And all these guys do this shit. Stick to the truth, man. See, what happens is they do all that, and then these dogs end up as the grandparents of the stud dogs that they're breeding to, or the parents actually of your stud dogs. And so so when you breed, these dogs that we're talking about become the grandparent of the puppies that you've got. And you're like expecting, Rick Rude. But you know what you get? You get Rick Rude. And you're like, well, what the fuck happened? Well, nothing happened. You got exactly what was there. Good old dog. And that's how it works. 99% of these people will fucking lie to you. And you know what the thing is? I haven't figured out why. It's not like they lying to make money, because they'd have made money anyhow. It's not like the lie is motivated to make money. I mean, like hanging those papers on Buck, the regular pedigree was better than the one he put on him. I mean, what the hell? You know? Why you wanna fuck up a good thing? Just tell the damn truth, man. I swear to you, in the end, it'll all be all right. It'll all be all right. When you start doing all that bullshit and you start hanging all that paper. No, but it's obvious why he did it. He did it to make it a pure breed. He did it to make it look pure. All those guys do that shit. They do it to make it look kind of like my Donald dog's pedigree. They do it to make it look like this, Peter. They do it to make it look like this. But they can't make it look like that because they don't have the dogs to make it look like that. And so what they do is they make a cross, but and then they just show it on paper that it's inbred like that. Because everybody wants inbred dogs from the breeder. They don't want it where it's crossed out, where the breeders put other blood in it. You know that. They don't want it. They're like, oh. But actually, in retrospect, Buck's real pedigree is a much better pedigree. It explains a better producer than all the other dogs that were bred like him. Because there were a bunch of dogs bred almost just like him, like his supposed pedigree, and none of those dogs produced like he did. And if I'm wrong on that, correct me. If he was off a Little Tater, I think the only other dog off a Little Tater that was worth a damn was wasn't Hollinsworth's bitch off a Little Tater? This is what Baker told me. Okay. Baker said that he didn't care how the dogs were bred, but that Maurice told him that they were bred the way they were bred. He told me that Boomerang come from Ray Long. Yeah, that's what I thought. But he told me that Boomerang come from Ray Long. He said a lot of those dogs come from Ray Long. He said, now, it just depended on who they came from, whether the pedigrees were right. Now, if they come from Carver, like directly from Carver's yard, he said, you kind of didn't know. He said, but if they come like through Carver from like Ray Long or someone like that, then yeah, the pedigrees were right. So, when he told me that, what does that tell you? That Boomerang's pedigree's right. Because Ray Long, the dog come from Ray Long. So, but I can tell you a cool story about Boomerang. He had gotten another dog from Carver that looked almost just like Boomer. Didn't work out. Where he got his feed from was like an old farm barn place thing over there in Orlando. And he gave the dog to that guy. And so when people would come around bugging him to breed the Boomerang, he'd send them over there. He'd say, oh, I got Boomer over at this guy's place, and this guy was in on it. And he'd charge them whatever to breed to the dog. And people bred to this dog thinking they had bred the Boomerang. And Baker'd sign the papers and everything. He'd sign the papers for them right there. Sign the papers and make them leave. He said, just pay him. And then Baker'd get free dog food. So, how you like that? And it happened. He told me it happened several times. And this is what he does. And then, my question was, well, what Boomerang blood, if I was after Boomerang blood, do you go after? He goes, well, there's really only one line worth of shit. He said, go after that Johnson's Zeb blood. That's what he said. That's what the man told me. So take that for what it's worth. That come from the hoose's mouth. You know, you just have to look at which ones, like, you figure it out. Honey Bunch come from Carver. All right? Honey Bunch came from Maurice Carver. So you got to kind of figure out her pedigree. All right? You can't track it down. But the dogs that were bred by other guys that Carver got them from them, you can track those pedigrees down because those people made the breedings. It's like Indian Bolio. You know, Eddie Klaus made the breeding, produced the puppy. Carver got the puppy, and he gave it to Norman Hooton to raise up. But there's a blockchain. You know where the dog come from and where it ended up. And the same thing with Boomerang. Ray Long made that breeding. He had that Miss Spike dog on his yard. And he made the breeding. He raised those puppies. You know, so Carver just, the only thing Carver did was sell them. Yeah, they all claim it. Jerry Clemens told me that Honey Bunch was out of Bully Son bred to his mother. You can ask Jerry Clemens, he's alive and well. I don't know. I don't know, man. Oh, sure, man. I got a bunch of it. I spent 3 days with him, riding around his truck. He's a good guy. Anyhow. He said a lot of that Boomerang stuff out there. You know, when he said that about Johnson Zeb, he was saying a whole lot of that Boomerang stuff out there is bullshit. That's what he said when he said that. And he was talking shit, man. You know, I don't have a lot. You know, now see, I knew Howard Teal, and I knew Joe Medlin. I knew both of them. You know, I don't see Howard Teal hanging papers on, as far as like on Red Boy and not being out of Jeff. Now, how Jeff is bred, who knows? I mean, I don't know. I mean, didn't he quit, or was it his daddy that quit? I mean, one of those dogs quit. It was either Jeff or Sarge quit, and I think it was Jeff that quit, and one of them did. You'd have to look it up. You guys probably know. I think so. Like his daddy quit, or his granddaddy quit, something like that. You know, I actually got a pair of them. They're tied by the ass outside. I got a pair of them, man. They got ass tied, not making a sound, not a peep, just, just stuck together. Is that dude for real, man? Is that Chico Lopez? He for real? He the real deal? How many? Who's got a dog from Chico Lopez on here? Now, be honest. Be honest. The truth will not hurt you. Yeah, I've heard that story before. But see, that gives Hemphill and them the credit for the dog, man. Howard Teal says that story's not true. I've heard that story before. Say what now? Who are you talking to? Oh, he's not my friend, man. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing about it is if he was a Hemphill dog, then why didn't the Hemphill strain itself live on? And why weren't Hemphill dogs like Red Boy dogs? Or why didn't the Hemphill strain, you know, why wasn't there I don't know about that theory, man. You know what I think? You know what I really think? I think that Red Boy dog was off of Carver's Wino. How about that? I think he was off that Wino dog that they bought. They bought that Wino dog from Russell Jolly. And I think he was off that Wino dog. You know who that Wino dog was? That's what I think. The other thing is, when you try to go that far back with a bloodline to say it's Hemphill, this or that, that's like trying to go back behind Bolero and say she's, you know, snooty Eli or whatever, man. You know, you got to look at the people that made the bloodlines, and you got to look at people like Katie Marlowe and look forward on those bloodlines. Look at dogs like Champion Whip, and whatever dogs, Champion Tater. I'm getting beat. And Grant, what's that dog's name? Fucking that Grand Champion. I can't remember his name, man. I mean, but I'm not so familiar with all them dogs, but just all the good dogs that come out of her stuff. Um, you really look forward on those bloodlines. Like start at Red Boy on your and look forward on them pedigrees, because then you find the truth. Because when something that's been dead and gone so long, and you try to look behind something like that, man, you're looking at bullshit. And you're looking at like you really don't really know the truth, and you're going on stories and all that crap. But when you look at, like, you start at, like, say, Red Boy, or you start at Niggerino, or you start at Bolio, or you start at um, Chinaman, or you start at uh, uh, right, you know, whatever, a Boyle's dog or something. You start right there and then go forward. You get a better understanding of what you're breeding and what you're going to end up producing. Because, like I said, man, your dogs are going to produce like the grandparents of what you're breeding to. That's what they throw. And if you don't know who the grandparents of your dogs are, I mean, you don't even know what kind of fucking puppies you're going to get. And that's when Carver and um what's his name went up there with that wino dog and beat Howard Teal. And then they sold him the dog. And it was a red dog with a red nose and a long head. His name was Carver's Wino. Champion Wino. And he looked like Red Boy. And he disappeared. Them boys bought him and he disappeared. So my theory is that's Red Boy's daddy. But who knows? Yeah, if you got a bunch of bullshit in the first 3 generations, you're screwed. Well, it explains the mystery blood showing up and no other dogs like it showing up. Well, maybe, except for that Holly dog. Now, don't forget about Holly, Jeep's sister. You might want to get out more, puppet. Might want to get out more. No, wino, 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 like a drunk. Wino, wino. I'm trying to think where I've got a picture of him I can get my hands on. Where I can quickly grab a photograph of him. You know, I don't know if I got one scanned of him. You know, it might be on the damn internet, that picture. Let me see here. I'm trying to post a picture of him. He was not a red dog. It looks like he was a brindle dog. I was wrong about that. Trying to get my Facebook. There we go. Create a post real quick. Man, I can't find it. I mean, I found it on the internet. I found it on the internet, but I can't pull it over here. You can actually Google Carver and Wino. Yeah, he was. It says a brindle dog. I found a picture of him. I was wrong. He was a brindle dog, but I still say that's Red Boy's father. Red Boy throws plenty of brindles. If I could shorten this URL, I could send you a picture of him. I mean, I found him. I'm sitting here looking at him. But the URL is wait a minute, I might have found one. Got it. All right, I found it. Look at the third picture down, and you'll see it. That right there, that's the only way I could. If you look, he's holding the dog with a cigarette in his hand. In my opinion, in my opinion, um, that's Red Boy's father, or a son of his. That was their secret blood. Oh, gives him mud. Oh yeah, man. I'm just kidding around. We don't even have any sweet pea stuff left. In my yard, the last sweet pea dog I had died last year. The son of sweet pea I had well, my buddy had him. Pedro lives. He died. I had a son of his, that stymie dog. I gave him to a buddy of mine, Brandon, and they ended up. He ended up getting out there, and they bred him to Billy Stevens bitch, um, and that they like those pups a lot, and he ended up passing away. I think he ended up living to being about 10 years old. That stymie dog. Hang on a second. Here's his pedigree. That's Wino's pedigree right there. It's all the same stuff that made Black Widow. There shouldn't have been no brindle dogs there, man. All that should be there is black dogs and Eli dogs. That's all they had there was Eli dogs. That whole yard was just full of Eli and Cotton's Bullet. That's all they had. What else did they have? They had nothing else. When they brought that Buster stuff on there on the yard, it lit all that stuff on fire. It was like putting a match to a pile of straw. I'm not sure, Peter. I don't know, man. Yeah. What you doing down there, Pucky? Huh? What are you doing? Huh? I just took you out an hour ago. I don't have to take you out. Well, hour and a half ago. You don't need to go out. I know what you want to do. I know what you want to do. You want to play with that bone. Huh? All right, man. Wild. A wild little thing. Take your bone over there. You're going to break something dropping it here. Here, give it to me. You ready? You ready? Go get it. Well, you ain't read my book, historian. I, I I let loose of some shit that Lonzo told me about all that stuff that happened at La Pase's. Lonzo got to drinking that liquor, man. He'd tell you all kinds of shit. Uh, I don't know. I'll tell you one thing I know. I know how my dogs are bred back 38 years. I know exactly how they bred back 38 years because you know why? Every breeding was made with these right here. Them bad boys. Made every single breeding. I didn't raise no puppies from nobody. I bred Bolero to the males, and then I went forward all the way and made all my own breedings, man. And there ain't no, I didn't buy nothing from nobody, and it's all bred by me, and uh, it's all off of one dog, and this shit is it's right. It's right. I don't even have 50% Bolero anymore. You know, just because I'm breeding it correctly, I'm down to like I think 43% or something like that. I just couldn't keep it 50% and breed it right. I was gonna have to make a brother sister breeding, and I wasn't gonna do it. Uh, Lonzo, my man. Oh, I did like a little mini biography on Lonzo in my book, man. Gave Lonzo big props. You know, he was trying to get his own book out, and he didn't make it. So I did like a little section on him in my book, put some pictures of him in there, kind of told where he was from, what he did for a living. You know, he was a hard worker. You know, told a little couple little stories about him. You know, uh, yeah, you got to buy my book, man. You're gonna miss out on the first edition. It's gonna sell out. I'm selling like 2, 3 copies a day. I got one in today from Alan Burt, one of our guys in the group here. He mailed in a money order today, and then I had two sell online. I sell like some days I'll sell 4 or 5 of them, but it's going to end up selling out here real quick. Uh, and I'm changing this edition. I'm going to change it. I've got some stuff in here I'm changing. It's not going to be the second edition. It's going to be different. Yeah, you know who refereed his match? His champion, his fourth. I refereed his. I refereed his last match. That Lucius dog. Oh, it's on the way, man. I mailed it out to you. I guess today or yesterday. It's on the way. Yours is gone. Nah, I didn't know him. I didn't know him. Um, he he was so anti-Carver, man, that I really didn't get to know that guy. No, never made the brother sister breed. Never did that. No, but I've done a lot of um. Well, I've done a lot of brother sister. Um, like where they might have a same, their parent might be the same dog. They might have the same mother. Yeah, anti Carver. I don't like the anti Carver crowd, man. Tony. Yep, sure did. Man, what are you talking about? And he had been writing it. I'd like to know what happened to it. Boom. What he told me was that, see, Carver had some different medical issues, and y'all know that Jerry ran the clinic at the Huntsville unit at the prison in Huntsville, um, and in Texas, right? And so he could get all the medicines that anybody needed, all the IVs, all the decks, all the whatever they needed. He could get all that shit. He could also get like medicine for you, like if you were sick. And Carver had some different things wrong with him. And so he would get the medicine from Jerry to treat those problems. And so he was up there at Jerry's one time getting medicine, and the bitch was in heat. And he said, "Hey, man, let me take her, and I'm going to stick her to Bully Son." And he said, "I'll get a litter out of it." And this was right when they were getting ready to match Bully Son. They were like 4 or 5 weeks out from matching Bully Son. Made the breeding, and he never saw the bitch again. Said he never saw her ever again. So that's why he said, and then the timing's right, because Honey Bunch came after Bully Son quit. So the timing's right and everything, but who knows? Who knows? So, but that's what happened. But for the end of the story, just to tell you this part, that's what happened to Bully Son and Eli Jr.'s mother. Is that Jerry gave the dog to Carver to breed to Bully Son, and he never saw the dog again. That's what happened to Spook. So if you want to put that down on your list of details and stuff, that's definitely what happened to Spook. That's a fact what happened to Spook. Now, whether she got bred to the dog, whether she jumped out of the car and ran away on the way home, you know, I don't know. But I do know that Jerry put the dog in the man's car, and the man drove off with the dog. And the dog never came back, nor any puppies. And that's a fact, Jack. Yeah. So I'll tell you else something interesting. You know how Carver got a hold of Black Shine out of Eli Jr. and Brendy? Anybody know? So, like, right after Bully Son quit, he goes to see Jerry because he knew he had that Black Shine dog. And guess how that Black Shine dog got bred? Guess how that litter of dogs got in existence? Now, think about it. Eli Jr. to his sister, right? Eli Jr. to his sister. And this is a grown dog. This is a grown dog. How do you think that breeding happened? Eli Jr. to his sister. So they were in the pen together. Listen to this. They were in the backyard running around together till they were 10 months old. Eli Jr. and his sister. Brendy and Eli Jr. ran around loose together until they were like 10, 11 months old. And she came in heat and he bred her in the backyard. And that's how she got pregnant. In other words, like, it wasn't a planned breeding. So that's how Eli Jr. got bred to Brendy. Was they were running loose in the backyard together, two puppies. Pretty cool, huh? So Brendy was a year old when she had Black Shine. So when Bullison lost, he was 5. So that would have made Black Shine 3.5 years old. And Carver went straight there and bought him. So he was right out of Bullison's brother and sister. And that was his replacement for Bullison, which was a great replacement. I mean, Black Shine produced Stompanato. He produced Rascal. That's just 2. I mean, he produced many, many good dogs. So pretty interesting stuff. Pretty interesting stuff. Not much, man. I mean, the people that stole him told me about how they stole him and shit. Which brother to Rascal was that? Not also Negro. Who was it? Was it also Negro? But then he ended up losing. He ended up losing. Who was it that beat him? Wasn't it Chicken Sam? I don't know, man. I'd really call that a cross. I mean, yeah, they're both Eli lines, but you look at those dogs and they're totally different dogs. They're geographically different. They're physically different. Um, they're behaviorally different. They're totally bred different. If you've got rascal dogs with no maverick in it, and you got maverick dogs with no rascal in it, and you breed those two together, that's a cross, man. In my book, you know, that's a cross of Eli bloodlines. You know, it ought to be pretty cool. I like that. Well, who knows who Negro lose to? I mean, he ended up losing. I have to look that up. Back. I think they took him down to Texas or something, didn't they? Got whipped by him. It wasn't that Dolomite dog, was it? Was it Dolomite or was it Stinson and Glover that whooped that Oso Negro dog? No. Was it Dolomite or was it what was the other one? Well, you just ain't seen no good rascal dogs. I mean, you know, I'll tell you, man, you get a hold of some of that good Pedro stuff back when we had it. Now I don't have any rascal stuff at all anymore. I mean, it's gone. I mean, the Pedro stuff we had, it's gone. But man, when we had that heavy, those were some good dogs, man. I really like those dogs. I mean, they were wind up and let them go dogs. I mean, that was some good blood. Really enjoyed showing them. But a lot of that rascal stuff is mixed up with other blood. Um, like it's got Jeep blood mixed in it, or it's got Red Boy mixed in it, or it's got, it's hard to find that straight rascal stuff. Yeah, see, that's what I like doing. I like taking like my heavy bolero stuff, like it's real heavy bolero, and breed it to a Eli stud dog that's unrelated to it. Boom. Man, I get some sweet puppies breeding like that. Um, and you know, that's why I'm getting ready to try this new breeding with this Villy stuff. We're getting ready to do it using the Villy blood instead of using the Eli blood. We're going to drop some Villy blood on top of it. That does. I like them, man. They're a lot more easygoing than the Maverick dogs. A lot more tractable. Um, I don't know, just a sweeter, kind of kinder dog. Man, the Maverick dogs, they fucking, you know, and then they fucking want to bite you. But I got that breeding coming up. Well, I already got the dog, but I'm getting ready to cut him into my yard. But, I've already showed y'all the pedigree on him. Yeah, at one time there was a lot of different rascal families around. You had the Homer dogs, and then you had just the plain rascal stuff coming from Crenshaw. Then you had those rascal dogs coming from Kimsey Woods. And then, of course, you had the Pedro dogs. There was a lot of rascal stuff around at one time. I think that's the right one. I mean, I had bitches right out of Rascal Jr. and bitches right out of Pedro. Bred the dogs out of Rascal Jr. Those were some heavy rascal dogs. I remember that Ludi May bitch I had. She was out of Pedro. Um, Bred to Miss Kitty. Miss Kitty was out of Rascal Jr. Bred to Jeep's sister. And that was a heavy rascal dog. Well, this is my new stud dog, Peter. Check this out. That's my new stud dog. And I'm going to breed him to, if I can get the pedigree up. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, well, fuck it. No, I hadn't looked at it yet. I'm going to have to go get something to drink. My drink is out. Shit, I didn't see nothing of Crenshaw's that was real tough. Except all what they had to say. All that talk. They did a lot of talking. gonna breed that. I'm gonna breed that dog to this bitch right here. She's got a little bit of rascal blood in her pedigree. Just a little. I'm going to get a drink and take a piss. Oh. All right. I'm back. Oh man, Two Eyes was a lot like this dog right here. Come here, buddy. Right here. Look, here's Two Eyes. Here's your boy. Give me some kisses. Give me some kisses. Oh, there's Two Eyes for you. Just a good old dog, man. Just a loving little old 35-pound dog. This dog's almost the same size. Oh, who you love? You love your daddy. All right. Oh, you're a good boy, ain't you? All right, hop down now. Hop down. You're going to get all these wires knocked down again. There you go. Sit right there. He's wild. He'll jump up in my lap if I let him. Yeah, that Big Casey was an underrated stud dog. I think he was the wino of those guys' yard. Dog that was bred and not recognized. And wasn't Big Casey sold? So like he wasn't bred a whole lot, and then wasn't he sold to like Australia or New Zealand or somewhere like that? What was the story on that dog, Big Casey? Y'all be sure to subscribe. I need 1,000 subscribers. Get your friends to subscribe too. I swear, when I get 1,000 subscribers, you're gonna love it. I'm gonna use all that cool shit that they give me. Man, I'm gonna put all kinds of pictures up and video, and man, it'll be a great show. Be way better than this bullshit sitting here looking at me. I want to put on like a real show, like where you got stuff to look at, interactive. Not this. Yeah, y'all would probably add one to that list. That Ripper dog outproduced at least two or three of those dogs. What color do puppies come, Arrowhead? What color are your puppies off of Two Jacks? You know, I had a male right off of Chinaman bred to Jeep's sister. How about that? Dog called Timex. Big black fucker. He was directly out of Chinaman, and his mother was Champion Missy. Sure did, man. And sent him to my buddy Daryl Harris. I got his picture up right here. Sent him to my friend Daryl Harris in Guam. And dog was there for about 6 months, and somebody stole him. We never saw him again. Timex. Oh, Daryl Harris, man, that was my buddy right there. Man, she jumped out of the pit and ran underneath the car. I heard they had to get a bologna sandwich to coax her out. She lived a long life. They treated her good. She was a very sweet dog. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, that's right. It's a bitch called Suicide, Paul. We sent her down there through England. There's a guy down there somewhere that's got her stuffed. You know, they stuffed that dog when she passed away. Oh, Airhead, these pedigrees are filled with curs, man. Oh, yeah, brother, I got it. I got your. I always take the envelopes until they get them, and I got it right here. Choo, choo, choo. Got it on my board. It'll sit right there until you get your book. Once you get your book, I'll take care of putting that away. Yeah, they fucking stuffed her, man. Yeah, 3 times. Should have bred her to Pedro. That's what he should have been breeding that bitch too. Stuck her to Pedro all 3 times. We made that snake to Missy breeding 3 times. That's where those guys were lining that honey bunch up. I mean, if you look at that, it's 50% honey bunch. It's a son and daughter of honey bunch bred to each other. And those breedings were real popular back in the 80s. All these people were making those breedings to, it was just like a cool looking breeding. Honey, it'd be like, that breeding there would have been Otis Honey Bunch, Jeep Honey, Bo Honey Bunch in the 2nd generation. And that's what your pups would have been. And so you would have got pups where your grandparents would have been Otis Honey Bunch, Bo Honey Bunch. And then, so, I mean, that's a nice puppy. Take that puppy and, raise it up and, good dog, take it and use it as a stud dog. Well, I had 2 out of that litter, and they didn't work out. That wasn't a very productive litter for us. I think Gary Hammonds got one. It worked out for him. That's the only ones that I know of. I'm not sure about the rest of them. You'd have to ask the people that got it. But I don't. I'm just throwing some trash off my desk here. But I don't know any of the other ones out of that litter besides those 3. I had one, didn't work out, and then Hollinsworth had one. He gave it to me. It didn't work out. Um, and then, like I said, I know that Hammond's had one, and I guess his worked out because he kept it and bred it. So, but I don't know. Yeah, you ain't kidding. The problem with breeding to Pedro back then was Pedro was real controversial. He had been sold by Snake Man to Mike Harris, and then all this controversy started about Pedro's wins. Did he win 9? Did he win 10? Did he win 5? Did he win it all? Did he, blah 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 and all this shit. And it was like this huge controversy in the journal about was Pedro even Pedro? Was he really Wee Willie? Did he really even come from? I mean, was he even really the dog? And Harris couldn't stand the controversy, and he sold the dog to Tom Garner, and that's how Garner got Pedro. And so he gets Pedro, and then he starts breeding Pedro. But there was just all this controversy, and nobody really wanted puppies back then off of Pedro. They just didn't want them. It was just too much bullshit around Pedro at the time. And I guess he couldn't even give puppies away off of Pedro. Now we were breeding bitches to Pedro steady. Shit. I should have bought him. I had a chance to buy him at one time, and he was old, man. And Garner, he sold him. He wasn't joking around, man. He offered to sell me the dog. I think it was like $2,500. He's like, I'll sell him to you for $2,500. And I was like thinking, I don't need to buy him. Dog's right here down the street. I don't need to buy him. And it was like 2 weeks later, he had sold the dog to some people in Canada. I was like, damn, man, he sold that dog. But anyhow, yeah, that was a bad move on my part. Could have had that old Pedro dog. Yeah, it was a female. That's the one we rode on his bitch that day. We rode on his bitch that day. She looked all right. Neither one of them looked that great. The Pedro honey dog wasn't but like a 35-pound dog. And, what's her face? She's like 45, 50, 55 pounds. Maybe the honey dog was a 40-pound dog, but it was a good 10-pound push. I mean, they were like way bigger than, but we were just trying to roll them. But we ended up stopping it. And I had a full brother to him. I had a littermate brother to him called Slag. And won 2 with him, then sold him. Actually, I beat the very first son of buck that was ever matched. We went into him up there at Gusto Boy's place at Sunny Penny's. And we beat those guys with him. And then I sold him right there after he won his second one. And then those guys took him and matched him again. And he lost. I'm not sure whether he might have quit. I can't remember. So, And then Stonewall, I don't know a whole lot about him. I mean, apparently he's a good dog, and he's produced well. I mean, that Lily White bitch, that's the baddest white dog I ever seen. You know, that's a good dog. Of course, I ain't seen but a couple white dogs. Yeah, and his brother Bobby. It's Saturday night, man. Fucking Saturday night. Where's Greg at? Where's D-Lo at? D-Lo, you in the house? Y'all be sure to subscribe. I need subscribers. I need 1,000 subscribers. I'd like to have them by the end of May. Man, we can rock and roll with 1,000 subscribers. Well, Bob Pitts ran with them a lot. But that was a spot, man. That was a spot for many, 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 many years. Go to their house. Go to Bobby's house. I mean, Sonny's house. That was the spot. Yeah. I like them guys. They're good guys, man. I got no idea, man. Paper. Yeah, paper, not paw. Paper. Yeah, I got no idea. I know he was into them pedigrees, man. All he was doing was lining up off a toot. You know that, right? I mean, his whole theory about toot and all that shit, right? What he was doing. It was all genetics that he was doing. He wasn't looking at anything except trusting the way the dogs were bred that he was getting from people and lining up off of Maloney's toot. From my perspective, what? Tell about what from my perspective, Peter? You got to tell me what you want to know. You kind of lost me with the typo. Did that typo and oh well. Yeah, man, old Sonny, he always kept some good dogs around. And always kept some cool cars laying around the yard. And I think last time I was there, he had a Porsche 928 just sitting in the yard with the grass growing up around it. I'm like, yo, what's up with that? Oh, it's got a flat tire. I'm like, damn, man. I appreciate it, Stacy. Yeah, just tell your friends. I mean, it gives me something to do at night. I get bored. I can't sleep. Today's kind of a shitty day. Well, it's tomorrow now, but yeah. 2 years ago yesterday, my sister killed herself. I had to fucking deal with that shit again. It sucks, man. Spend the whole day thinking about it. Well, I did. You know, you got those anniversaries of things, and whether you want to or not, I mean, you don't really have a fucking choice. It's like it's that day, and you just fucking think about it all day long, or if you don't, maybe you're not human. I don't know. I mean, you certainly don't want to forget about somebody like that. Thanks, Paul. If you could have one male back right now, would you pick Two Eyes, Dick, Stomper, etc.? Maybe someone. Oh, I'd like to have Stomper back, man. If I could have any of them back, I'd like to have Stomper back. I mean, just because it's the beginning of it. That's all. Not because how he's bred, not for any other reason except that he was the first one, and that I know he's the first one. That's the only reason I'd want him. Because I got the last one now. And it'd just be cool to have the whole chain to fit it together, make a circle. Be kind of neat. But other than that, I'm happy with what I got, man. There's really not a dog in. There's not a dog really in Donald's pedigree that I'd rather breed to more so than Donald himself. Because when I breed to him, I breed to every dog in his pedigree, don't I? I mean, when I stick him to a bitch, I stick every single dog in his pedigree to that bitch. All of them. Can't beat that. That's pretty good, man. Yeah, I remember that dog. I remember that dog. They had his picture in there. I sure do. Yep. Oh yeah, man. He's my white chicken. You ever seen the movie The Cockfighter? You watch that movie. He's my white chicken. You got to come over here, John, and see him and his three sisters, man. They're pretty amazing. Shoot. They had to cut Earlene's hip out 2 days ago. They get her back home. I'm going to come over there and visit her. I'll bring him with me when I do. I'll give you a call. I'll come over there and show him to you. Oh, yeah, it's on YouTube. You can watch the whole movie on YouTube. There you go. There it is right there. Hey, you ought to click on it and just watch the first 30 seconds of the movie, like the first minute of the movie. You ought to click on it. Just watch the first minute of the movie. Oh, they were good, man. The reason I kind of hooked up with him was he had a little dog called Angus, and Angus was a litter mate to Bridget, which Bridget was the dog that Valero beat her second time out, right? Well, we tried to buy Bridget after the show, and they wouldn't sell her to us. And so then I found out about Angus and made friends with Bob, and then was like, we're going to breed this stuff into my. And so we bred Angus to Rosita, who Rosita was out of Two Eyes and Boudreaux Shine. I think that's right. And that, um, or was it, Angus too? I have to look it up. But there was a dog named Red Angus out of that litter. It was crossed. Yeah, that's what it was. It was Two Eyes to Rose. It was red. It was Angus to Rosita. Produced Red Angus, and that Red Angus dog, that litter, ended up going like dogs out of that went overseas, went to Russia, and some of it went down to some boys down in Louisiana, and uh, that stuff did real good. Also, there's a famous photograph of me, Bob the Slob, and this guy named Mike Kelly, no relation to any other Mike Kelly. And the three of us were with that Chrissy dog right before she lost to, I think it's Payne's champion Pink Floyd, or Pink something, or Red something, or whatever it was. And we lost with her, but we won Gamiston Show. And that was the first time ever a dog matched under the name Dixieline Connection, because it was me hooking up with other people. Um, where it was like Fat Bill had hooked everything up and all this, but I'm bringing these people with me to match the dog, and so we came as Dixieline Connection. That was our name. That's what we matched her under. Dixieline Connections Chrissy. You can look it up. Later on, they changed her name to Beth or something like that. Epperson's Beth. But her match name was Dixieline Connections Chrissy. Yeah, Red Angus, crop-tiered dog. No OnlyFans. I don't have that. Don't have that. But no, Bob the Slob's dogs. Yeah, she was off of Rufus, and then we bred her back to Rufus. Bob did it. I mean, we were Dixieline Connection at the time. I mean, he was my neighbor, lived in the next town over. He had moved up there from Virginia Beach. $26. Same place. Same house. I own where I live. The property I live on, I own it. I got 9 acres here. 9 acres, house, well, septic. Live in it looks like a postcard where I live. Looks like a park or something. I don't know. I can look up his I hate to damn fuck my computer up, but I mean, all you gotta do is pull Book of Champions. Get the Book of Champions from that year. Pull his Grand Champion certificate. It'll have a list on there. No, he's talking about Hargrove's Grand Champion Rufus. And I think he was like a 7-time winner, 6-time winner. Harry didn't take no easy ones, I guarantee you that. See, that was right before my time. Like Rufus was shown in the early 80s, is when he was shown. Like he was shown, you'd have to look up Book of Champions, like 84, 82, 84, somewhere in there is where his paperwork would be. I'd say probably 84. The Chrissy dog was off of Rufus and Laverne. And Laverne was off of Gator and Greenwood's Delta. That's how they were bred. And that's how the Chrissy dog was bred, or Epperson's Beth, whatever you want to call her. And then And then they bred Chrissy back to Rufus. And I think the only one that survived out of that was that meanie dog that what's his face ended up with. All the rest of them quit out of that litter. That litter was a big disappointment. Yeah, but he just didn't produce, man. Rufus just didn't produce. We didn't get nothing out of him. No winners. He just didn't throw no winners, man. Just didn't produce. I don't know anything about Golden King. Oh yeah, no doubt. He was hell, man. He was tough. Man, he started using wild side dogs and otter dogs, stuff from Kerry Mickle. And like I said, and stuff from Ed Farron. I mean, shit. If Harry needed dogs, he could have called me. I'd have given him a couple dogs. Oh man, I'm gonna have to wrap this up in a minute. I've been on here about an hour longer than I planned on it. I was like, yeah, I get on for about an hour and a half. I ended up damn 2.5 hours bullshitting. No, Wildside didn't use my blood. Harry Hargroves used Wildside's blood. Now, nobody uses my blood. They can't get it. I don't let nobody get my blood. My dog ain't for sale, man. I don't get involved in all that bullshit no more. You know that. I beat a sister to him with Chi Chi about 35 minutes. He was a good dog. I seen him beat Rasta Man. Trying to remember what dog it was, Rasta Man's. It might have been. I can't remember, but Rasta Man lost to him. That was a good win for Boy. Gaston was hard on his dogs. For a dog to make champion off of Gaston's yard, it had to be a good dog. Cool. Yep. And the only thing similar about our stuff is I bred a bitch to Bandit. But I don't have anything else, you know? I mean, that would be like saying my stuff is similar to Tom Garner's, or my stuff is similar to Floyd Boudreaux's, or because I got Maverick blood, or my stuff is similar to Jerry Clemens, or, I mean, you know, whatever works for you. Yeah, it's similar to Farron's. Yeah, yeah. It's hell. Ed bred half my yard, man. I mean, whatever works. Yeah, all I ever did was just go and stud to these people's dogs. I never raised any puppies from anybody. I never got any puppies from Ed Farron or Tom Garner or Floyd Boudreau or any of those people. Now I got a couple pups from Jerry. I got that booger red bitch that you'll see in my pedigrees, and I bought that dog from him. But those are the only two I brought in that you see. All the rest of them, I bred those dogs and raised them by going and studying to those dogs, and then that's it. So I could have used any Eli dog. It didn't matter. As long I was just looking for match dogs. Man, I'm gonna tell you what. If it wasn't for Ed, he's the one that actually tells me how to breed them. I'll call him up and I'll like lay a pedigree out and be like, "Yo, dude, is this what I'm supposed to do?" And he'll tell me, yeah, that's the way to breed it, or no, don't do it like that. And, he helps me out all the time, man. Sure does. Hold on a second. Yeah, he helps me out all the time, and I just slam my dick in that desk drawer. Yeah. Ow. Oh man. No, man, I went in. You know what the deal was? Ed owed me some money. Um, I had loaned him $500 like a couple years earlier, and he had yet to pay me back. He had moved a couple times and this and that, and da 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 da, and he had never paid me. And Bolero was in heat, and he had Bandit sitting up there, and I wanted to get that $500 off the books. And I said, "Yo, dude, I got a dog in heat. Can I breed to Bandit for the money you owe me?" And he was all happy about it and said, "Please come up and breed to him." And he didn't even ask what dog it was. And I showed up there with Bolero, and he about had a fucking fit. "Oh, I want a puppy. I want a puppy." I'm like, "Sure, you can get one. Fucking $2,500." And that was back then. And you can ask anybody, man. I never sold no pups off of Bolero, man. I mean, if I sold them, man, you paid through the fucking nose. I mean, big, big money back then because I needed it to run my operation. So I would sell dogs back then to other dog men, but you had to pay like crazy. You know, John will tell you, them Bolero dogs, man, they were four figures back then, and they were a rare bird. Beach Boy Billy paid $2,000 for that cat dog when he was a puppy, 2 grand. And that was in 1991. It was all Ed all the time, man. Let me open this drawer back up. I can't help it's hurting. All right, I got it. Oh man, well I lost to him. You know, if you look up his record, his third match, his championship match was me. I had a dog named Bung Holio. Bung Holio. And now I want to pull my t-shirt up. Bung Holio. Oh, Bung Holio. Bung Holio. But anyhow, I had a dog named Bung Holio that I had matched previously and won with. I actually beat Wicked's brother with him, the dog named Cobb that Kyle Pierce had, that guy milking horse. He had a brother to Orangadanga and Wicked named Cobb that he wouldn't shut up about. And I matched into him. And yeah, and that was after me. And I matched into Cobb, and I beat Cobb with Bung Holio in, I think it was a little bit over an hour. And then after that, I opened Bung Holio up again. And Beach, you know, he was at like, I think this was at 37, 38, something like that. Opened him up again, and Billy picked the weight up with Spiky. Spiky was a two-time winner. And we did Bung Holio and Spiky. It was on a two-match card. I matched Miss Pistol that day into Crenshaw and Wild Rooster Kennels, and into that Miss Kitty dog. And Bung Holio, he lost in to Spiky, and I think it was like 55 minutes. We lost that match. Bung Holio quit. And and then the next one was Spiky went into Little Red, into Hargrove's Little Red, and beat them. And then they went down there to Florida, into Mad and Skip, into Sorrells. And they had a champion. I forgot the dog's name. I want to say the dog's name was Bo, but I can't remember. But he was a champion. And they went to Florida, and they beat him. And that Spiky dog was a good dog. And he was a good bred dog, too. But anyhow, yeah, that's what I know about Spiky. Spiky was a good dog. Yeah, Thomas and Perry. I smoked that dog of theirs, man. They got that dog from Crenshaw, and Crenshaw told them there was no way that they could lose to me with her. That she was unbeatable. That bitch was out of Hunter Red and Biscuit. 9 minutes. 9 minutes. I don't remember them. Yeah, I don't recall that dog. I know those boys had bad luck. Last time I seen them, they had a yard full of termite dogs. Yeah. Last time I seen Wild Rooster, they had a yard full of termite dogs. That's what they had when I seen them. And that was 25 years ago. I hadn't seen them boys in 25 years, man. Oh, man, that's some good shit. I don't know why we didn't have that at our damn sale. Oh, shit. That sucks. Yeah, that sucks. It really sucks. Hmm. Well, I ain't got to do shit tomorrow. I ain't got to do nothing but play with my dogs tomorrow. It's doggy day tomorrow. Or today. I can't wait. I can probably do it on Monday. Well, I got some shit I got to do Monday. I got to work Monday. But tomorrow, nothing. Oh, Mike Gregory. Yep. Oh, Mike Gregory. Oh, that's wild. They're all going away, man. Man, who was that I went to see? Trying to remember his damn name. I'm thinking of this one other guy. I can't get him out of my damn head. Fuck me, I can't remember his damn name. My buddy'd be asleep. I can't remember his damn name. Anyhow, it don't matter. Yeah, no one paid their debt to Mike's widow. The old Mike. Isn't that nice? Well, you know about the stolen pictures at Lester's funeral, right? Where his old lady had put a folder of photographs together, all these nice pictures of Lester with his dogs. This was like the day after he died, and she laid them down in the house, and they just disappeared. And it was a real short list of people that had been in the house. It was like all family and like two people that weren't family. I'm not going to say who they were. Doesn't matter because the pictures are gone. And the reason I know the story is I spoke at his funeral. And the reason I know the story is that when I'm looking at the pictures they got up, they only got like one or two of him with his dogs. And I was sitting there thinking, damn, I got more pictures of him than that, you know? And I was like, what's the deal with the pictures? And so I asked her. And she told me what happened. I was like, well, isn't that special? You like that, don't you? And those are fucking douchebag leeches. Steal Evelyn's fucking pictures of her dead husband while she's trying to take care of arrangements. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Mm, that is the truth. That is the truth. But that's not true about Tennessean. He was a great guy. Man, he was a stand up dude. I mean, me and him didn't see eye to eye on shit, but that's all right. He was from the Crenshaw camp. You know, they were kind of like our number one. You know, we beat the hell out of them all the time. You know, we beat them, we beat their friends. Every time I seen them boys, we were taking their money. You know, I understand the animosity and shit. It's all good. I'm used to it. Mm. Man, I wouldn't give a fuck if TJ sent $5 grand to every dog man's widow out there, man. Fuck that guy. He's a fucking moron. And one of the stupidest people I've met. I don't know if you read that what he wrote about himself in Bob Stevens' book. If any of you have seen Bob Stevens' book, the part that T.J. Fisher wrote is a fucking joke. And the idiot takes this. It's called The Picture, and it's got me, Lonzo Pratt, Ben Calliope, Jack Kelly, Lester Hughes, Gene Wright. Somebody else is in it. I forgot who else is in the picture. Anyhow, he takes me and puts like a piece of metal or something over the picture and like blocks me out of the picture and puts it in his story. And then, like 40 pages forward, Bob Stevens does a story on me and has the same picture in there, bigger and clear, with me in it. I mean, this guy's got like some kind of hard on against me to the point that he puts a photograph that's well known that I'm in and blocks me out of the picture. It's in Bob Stevens' book. I mean, fuck that guy. You know? He's a fucking moron, man. Well, it's not that we hate each other. I don't hate the guy. He's an idiot. I don't hate anybody. Look, this guy has never done anything. He's like a big old fake. That whiskey dog of his never went into anybody known. Like all her matches were fake. They made them all up. He's like, oh, Ben Calliope matched her into secret people that were unknown to anybody, and it was all secret matches and into the Mountain Boys and the secret Mountain Man that you don't know was the one that was the referee, and Ben did it all. And after Ben was dead, he comes up with all this shit. Come on, man. Come on, man. You fucking jag off, man. Take that shit somewhere else. You know? You little curled up looking bitch. Should have brought that bitch up to our house. We'd have showed you what you were feeding. Cocksucker. How about that? Go fuck yourself. Good job, Made Famous. No, man, like I said, I don't hate anybody. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. It's like this guy wants to have a war with me. He wants me to interact with him. You know? Because you know why? Because he knows I know the truth about him. See? And it hurts him. He knows I know. He knows I know he's a fake. But you know what? You can know too. All you got to do is, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll fucking scan his section of Bob Stevens' book. I will scan it and put it up on my Facebook page. And as Bob Stevens gets mad, I don't even give a fuck. And, I'll put the 35 pages up of TJ Fisher's section. I'll do that shit tomorrow. And you guys can read it. And I'll just leave it up for a couple hours. So, and I'll come on and do a live feed, and I'll do the post, and I'll do a live feed so you know that it's up, and I'll do it tomorrow night. And you guys can just go on there and just save the pages real quick, and then you can read it. And when you read this shit, you will find out that TJ Fisher is a moron. I mean, he tells it to you in the 35 pages. I mean, he is a complete and absolute moron. Okay, let's talk about something else. I bet he does. Anybody that's a billboard, anybody that advertises, anybody that would get a dog and get online and go, oh, I'm a satisfied customer, you know? Anybody that'll fit cock and balls in their mouth. And we know TJ Fisher can fit cock and balls in his mouth, so, Yeah, we'll just leave it at that, man. That motherfucker's useless. But I'll find that Bob Stevens book. I hope I didn't loan it out. I think I might have loaned it out now that I think about it. I hope I didn't. But anyhow, look, order Bob Stevens' book. It's only $50 on Amazon. And I know. But I'm telling you, just look, there's a big old section on me in there. And it's pretty good too. But it's only like 25 pages. But it's pretty good. And, I'd say like, half the book's decent. It's like 600 pages long. And, you'll read like half of it. Half of it's pretty decent. Other half. Got a little cold there. I'm smoking too much. All right. So what are we going to talk about now? Coming up on 3 hours. Getting ready to put another one in the books. Yeah, somebody needs to go down there and see him. If I had time, I'd go do it. Go down there, historian, go see him. Sit there with him for about 4 or 5 days. All you got to do is take a tape recorder, ask him the questions, let him tell the story. No, his new one. He's got a brand new book out. The Victory. Hang on a second. I'll give you the URL for it. There you go. Just go right here, and you'll see everything. Whew, there it is. 3 hours. There's another one into the books. That makes it at least my 4th longest stream. That's good. That's good. 5 more minutes. That puts me past everybody and puts me into my top. Deep water, deep water. Can't beat it. I'm gonna have to damn log off here in a little while though. My eyes are getting blurry. I'm even gonna have to put my glasses on. That helps a little bit. Yeah, that helps. Yeah, check out his book. Get the page to load. There it is. There it is. Pit Pro Volume 1. I don't know what I did with that damn thing. It's around here somewhere. Well, I mean, how far back you want to go? When you list the Hall of Fame of breeders. I mean, you want to go back as far as like Con Feely? You want to go back that far? Um, I mean, late 60s up to now. Well, yeah, Carver, for sure. You know, Pete Sparks was breeding a lot of dogs. And of course, the Colbys were breeding a lot of dogs. Um, Howard Heinzel was breeding a lot of dogs. Um, at that time, a lot of dogs were coming out of the Southwest, um, like Fitzwater, um, uh, you know, that type of stuff was um, kind of like how that wino dog we were looking at, that Williams blood, a lot of that type of stuff was coming out of the southwestern part of the country, the southwestern part of the country. You know, there weren't a lot of pit bulls around back then in the 60s. I mean, hell, there weren't a lot of pit bulls around in the early 80s. You know, and then really Carver didn't start breeding dogs. Carver didn't start breeding dogs till 1969, selling dogs till 1969. He was breeding them, but he wasn't selling them. He didn't become a commercial breeder till 1969. He only sold dogs for 9 years. He died in 78. A pretty good impact for selling dogs for 9 years. And, you know, you get into the 70s and you look at people like Bert Sorrells and Jerry Clemens. Of course, Boudreaux's been breeding all the way through the 60s and 70s. And Crenshaw's now breeding in the 70s. Irish Jerry. Ozzie Stevens, he's now operating. Who was a fantastic breeder. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better breeder and all-around dog man. You know, I'm leaving a lot of people out that just aren't coming to mind. It's late. And, you know, the 80s, get into the 80s. You know, well, you had Tom Garner come along, you know, just talking about breeders. Oh, and also the 70s, you had Gary Hammonds. The 80s, you had Garner, and then you had Ed Farron. I came along. Um, TVK. You know, and again, I'm leaving tons of people out from areas away from my area. I'm really tired, man. You know, but you know, Ricky Jones, He came out in, I guess, like the early 80s, like real early in the 80s. He might even have come out in the late 70s, but early 80s. Um, I mean, there's just so many of them. Once you start getting up into the 80s, man, I could sit here and just sit here and think of people and name them off all day long. I forgot about Norman Kemmer. That would be from the 70s. You know, you just sit here and name people all day, man. Blam, 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 blam. Bobby Hall, we forgot about him from the 60s. You know, that's another breeder, dog man. So, you know, I think I'll move my thing down here. What's that about bad rosemary? Eli Shadow was a big bad dog, man. I should have bought that dog. No, I never saw him. I doubt it. I doubt there's any recent Old Family Red Nose champs. Well, y'all, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to wrap this up. I got to shut her down. Oh, damn, I can't take it no more. I gotta call her quits. But that was a good run, man. 3 hours and 11 minutes. Can't beat that. And nothing personal against TJ Fisher. I was just acting out, man. Having fun on the computer, man. You know, you gotta have like good guys and bad guys, and it's like in wrestling and stuff like that. And me and Ben Kalapi, we had this love-hate relationship that you know, people didn't know that he and I were actually friends. And you know, reaching out to TJ, if he wants to act like a normal person and not do stupid shit, then you know, I'll be glad to be friends with him. So just act like a normal person. So, and I don't have any problem with it. So you guys have a good evening, and everybody have a fun weekend. And I'll try to get on here tomorrow night. And I'm not going to scan that stuff and put it up because that's Bob's shit. And his book's only $49 plus shipping, and it's worth it. So please order Bob Stevens' new book. I think I put the link up for it, and I'll put the link up one more time. There's the link to order Bob Stevens' book. So order Bob's book, man. It's real entertaining. It's got a good section on me in there. He actually wrote a good part on Garner in there. It's the first time I've seen anything on Garner. And he wrote about 20 pages or more on Tom Garner. So it was pretty cool. So, you know, buy the book. Buy the book. Buy Bob Stevens' book. I wish I had my copy around here. I'd hold it up. So, but I don't have it. So, anyhow, yeah, it was fun, man. We had a good time tonight. So, we'll see y'all later. And you have a nice Sunday, and I'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you tonight.